In last session, we discussed about lots and lots of time functions. Okay. In this session, we are going to see a couple of calculations first, and then if time permits, we are going to discuss about subqueues. And this will be the last session on MDX, and from tomorrow onwards, we are going to discuss about SSRS for coming 10 to 15 sessions. It depends on how fast you are getting the concepts. Based on that, we're going to either speed up or slow down the sessions. Now, let's see. You all remember a simple calculation I'm writing. It has to start with member. I have to give some name, test, as I'm passing hard-coded value. Rupesh is a trainer. This is the calculation, right? With member, test is the name of the calculation, and I can say measure, calculated measure, as Rupesh is the trainer, which I'm hard-coding. And here I'm writing a select statement. So where I'm taking sales amount and also test. Why? Because this is a calculated measure. These two belongs to same hierarchy, and hence it will form a set on 0, comma, and I'm gonna give let's say calendar year. Okay, on rows from cube name. If I execute this, you can see it is returning year-wise sales, and it is also returning the calculated measure what I have written. And expression for the calculated measure I have given is a simple one, that is Rupesh is a trainer, which is a hard-coded one. One more important function that you need to know before closing this MDX sessions is current member. Current member, what current member will return? You know what next member will return, and you know what previous member will return, and current member will return the current member. And where I can use that, how I can use that, let me show you an example. So current member is the most useful one in functions, in calculations. So whenever you're working on calculations, current member plays a major role. Let me show you a simple example here. So this is a hierarchy, right? Due date dot calendar high. So if I copy this dot current member will return what is the member that is present in that particular row for that particular hierarchy. For this row, if you take this row, what is the current member of the hierarchy due date dot calendar high? So it is 2001. For this it is 2002. For this it is 2003, and for this it is 2004. So as per my guess, it has to return 2001 here, 2 here, 3 here, and 4 here. But if you execute this, it will return a null. Why? Because this current member is a attribute member. But this calculated measures either returns an integer or some textual information, hard-coded one. So it won't retrieve, it won't return the attribute member. So this current member will return an attribute member. So what we have to do is we have to go for either name or some text. So dot name means what it is going to return. It is going to return current member, and what is the name of the current member? The current member name is 2000. Sorry, I pressed properties. The name of the first current member, first row current member is 2001, and this one is 2002, this one is 2003, and this one is 2004. So until current member, this guy returns the member. Whereas if I give name, it returns a string value, that is name of the current member. So this is how you can make use of the current member, and there is hell of advantages, and let's discuss one by one. So we're going to discuss about calculations here, right? So the first and foremost calculation that you have to look at is percentage. What is the percentage of these particular sales compared to overall sales? This is the most common calculated measure that you have to write once you start working on projects. What is the percentage of this particular year contribution, percentage of contribution to the total sales? In the same way, this year contribution to the total sales. So how can I achieve that? So to achieve the same, let me write a calculated measure here and explain you the same so that you will get a better idea. Now my requirement is I have to get the percentage of each sale. So better I will write it as percentage, year percentage. Okay, I'm gonna get the year wise percentage. Now, as part of calculating this one, to calculate the year wise percentage, what is the first step? The first step is, it is numerator. Numerator value is value divided by total value into 100 is the percentage formula, right? First I have to get value. So to get the value, you can simply use the measure. Whatever the measure you are getting, whatever the measure you are using, you can simply use the measure. And you can see whether it is returning the correct value as expected or not. So I just simply copied the measure and you can see it is returning as is, the one that you are expecting, right? I'll give you a percentage, a little bit of space so that it looks beautiful. So if you see, I just given as part of year percentage calculate the measure, just show sales amount, nothing else. Okay. Now, what is the denominator? Denominator is the total sales. Total sales is nothing but, what is total sales? Total sales is nothing but the total of this plus this plus this plus this. How can I get that? I can get that by adding these four is one way, or by going to any one of its parent. For example, divided by, I'm taking this hierarchy, dot current member. Dot current member will return 2001 for this row, 2001, 2 for this row, 2003 for this row, comma, I'm taking this measure. So what these two will form? These two will form a tuple, right? The first one is due date dot calendar hierarchy, and the second one is measures hierarchy. So this one, the denominator will retrieve what is the sales for the current member. It is not going to retrieve full member. It is going to retrieve the current number. So I want to sum this one. Let's see what the output will be. You can see 1, 1, 1, 1. Why? Because the numerator is the sales amount. The denominator is I'm asking to give or to return the current member sales. Both are one and the same. The current member sales is 2001. 2001 sales in this case, 2002 sales. 2 sales in this case, 2003 sales in this case, and 2004 sales in this case. How to get the parent one? So current member dot parent function will take you to its parent, right? So now let's see what will happen. If I execute this, it is giving me some percentage. You can see 0.10, 0.22, 0.31, 0.35. So it is returning some percentage. And what is the pending part? The pending part is multiplication, multiplied by 100, and let's see whether this returns the value properly or not. If I execute this, you can see 10, 22, 31 and 35. If you see, these four should be equal to 100. Why? Because the total sales is 100% and each year sales will be the first. This 2001 sales is 10%, this is 22, this is 31 and this is 35. And if you copy these four and sum it, if you sum these four, then you will return, it will return 100%. So this is how you can calculate the percentage, of any particular member. So what we have done here, I have taken the numerator as is, the value that it has to return, and the second part, sum of the current member dot parent. This guy current member is 2001. Its parent is, what is the parent of 2001 attribute member? The parent is all member, ALL. All will have the total all four member values. And I'm asking the server to return sales amount of 2001 parent in the first row case and sales amount of 2002 parent, that is again all, 2003 parent, that is again all, 2004 parent, that is again all. So every time it returns the same value. If you have any query here, let me create a separate calculated measure. I'm creating one more calculated measure. I'm naming it as total, as I'm taking this formula. Sum of current hierarchy. So calendar hierarchy dot current member means whatever the current member it is returning, and its parent. So dot parent and the sum of the sales amount. So all member sales amount. Let's see what it is gonna return if I specify it in my select statement. If you see, oops, somewhere something. I want one parenthesis extra, so I remove that, and you can see it is returning the total of these four. You can see if you sum these four, this will be returning the total of these four. So it is pretty simple to calculate the percentage of each attribute. Okay, each member, sorry, not each attribute. Each member percentage can be calculated based on current member sales divided by the parent member sales into 100. This is how you can calculate the percentage. And there is one advantage of, using format string. You don't need to give into 100 when you are using format string is equal to percent. If you specify percent as format string, you don't need to specify, you don't need to multiply it explicitly. And if you execute this here, you can see it is formatting to 2 decimal and it is also adding percentage symbol at the end of the value. So this is the beauty of the format string option in calculations. Now let's make this calculation even more beautiful. Instead of giving empty sales amount, what you can give? You can go for current member, right? Current member dot sales amount. What it is going to return? It is going to return the same. Both are one and the same. Either giving it blank or specifying with the current member is going to retrieve the same. And if you execute this, this will return the same value. So this is how you can create the percentage of the parent. Now let's try to create the same calculation in our bits environment. I told you we are going to revisit these calculations part once we become familiar with the MDX queries. Now this is the time. Let's see how to create the same calculation. Okay, how to create the same calculation for a hierarchy in bits environment. So I'm opening the bits here. Let me go to the cube and then to calculations. So some test calculation is there. I don't want it anymore. I'll name it as percentage total something, and I'm giving the measure and the format should be percent, and I'm using the expression here. I'm going to give the expression. What expression I have to give? So I don't need to specify any measure value here. Let me explain how to write the same calculation here. So your intention is to calculate the percentage for the sales amount. So first thing what you have to do is sales amount for a hierarchy. What is the hierarchy you are planning to go with? You are planning to go with calendar hierarchy. So calendar hierarchy dot current member, comma, sales amount. What this guy will return? This guy will always return the current member, whatever the item that is present or whatever the hierarchy member that is pulled from this one will be taken into consideration, and its sales amount will be returned. Let me show you the same here. For that I need to deploy the cube at least. I don't need to process it, I need to deploy it. So let me deploy the cube here. So yes, It may take some time. Why? Because I have not deployed the cube in recent past. Okay, this is done. I'm not going to process. Why? Because calculations, if I change something in the calculation expression, I don't need to process the cube. Now go to the browser to test the same. Remember, the formula that I have given is current member dot sale, comma sales, sales amount. So first I'm taking the sales amount. It is returning some value. Now I'm taking the percentage total. I've given the formula as percentage, so it is taking into 100. You can see 06.59 is changed to 0659.36. Why? Because I've set the format string to percentage here. And now if I drag something from the hierarchy, let's say I'm dragging the hierarchy here. 2001, the value it is taking and showing here. Now if I expand this, the current member will be the one what it is showing at the end. So the current member is third quarter. So third quarter sales amount is 600,22328. The same is copied here. So it always, the current member will show you the last member hierarchy, not the last member of the hierarchy, and it is returning the same value. You can see it is split into two, and this value is copied here and this value is copied here. If I split it even more, if I dig it even more, then this will be expanded, and you can see the same thing is taken as current member. So you are clear about current member now. Now what I have to do? Divided by, that's the formula, right? Divided by, what is the formula I have to give? I have to give the parent. Whatever may be the level, take its parent. That's it. You don't need to worry about whether it is a year hierarchy or year level or quarter level or month level. Whatever may be the level we are in, it will be considered as current member, and its parent will be taken when you give dot parent. So now let's see the magic, how this is gonna work. For this I need to deploy the cube. So let me select this. So if you see it is deployed, now let me go here and reconnect. You can see it is showing the percentage. So for this row item, what is the current member? The current member is 3. The sales is this one. And its parent sales is semester 2. For the third quarter, the parent is semester. This sales is 143374901 dot something. So this divided by this into 100 is this value. Similarly, and if you observe one thing, the leaf level members are 2 here. These two sum is equal to 100% here. And if I split it even more, if I dig it more, you can see October 31, 30 and 38. This one, and this is 58% of the total. Where is the remaining percent? The remaining percent is here, the 41%. Right? You can see the 41% and this 58% will form 100%. If I drill down even more, you can see it's split based on the percentage, and you can see the total is 31%. So this is how one simple formula can give you percentage at any level. If you understood this formula, then this is the most frequently used one, and beautiful formula I can say. See, the formula is pretty small and there is nothing to remember. What we have done, we have taken the sum of current member sales amount. That means whatever the row item is there, it will give you the sales, and I'm taking the parent member sales amount. So I'm dividing these two and showing it in percentage format. So this is how you can go for calculations, complex calculations. People call these as complex calculations, and clients will say, wow, it's super. I mean, with a simple click, I can see the percentage. It's simple calculation, right? Pretty simple one. And clients will say, wow, fantastic calculation. Why? Because they don't know the complexity involved or the simplicity involved in this one. So what they can see, they will look at what they can see. What they can see is it's a magic to them. Calculating at any level. If you collapse this, it will be calculated at this level. So the last hash dot one dot hash INF error is the one that you have to fix it manually. I will explain you about that separately. Okay, this is not a mandatory one. Why? Because this is limited. This is only shown in this particular browser. It won't be shown in the Excel or SSRS reports, whatever you are working on. So in this way, you have to analyze the requirement and you have to split the requirement, start from the step 1 and achieve the complete part, complete requirement. And none of the calculations will be so complex unless and until the MDX does not support few features. Like MDX is a limited language. You will not, you cannot do magics like any other by using any other programming languages. People used to do magics. There will be some shortcuts or some workarounds. But this is not like that. This is a limited language. Okay, I'm giving you these many set of functions. Make use of these functions to meet your requirements. Else, I cannot help you. That's it. So, this is a limited one. Even SSIS is a limited tool. You cannot do magic with it. It's a tool. It's not a language. So, first, the key is understanding the requirement. If you understand the requirements properly, then you can play. Now, let's see one more calculation. The most frequently used one, calculating Y-o-Y, that is year on year. I'll name it as Y-o-Y. Year on year means this year sales minus last year sales. Okay, what is the sales for this year minus last year? So how can I do that? I'll copy the same formula. Okay, I'll make use of the same one, and this time it should be standard. This is not percentage, right? This is standard. Now let's see how to make the changes. The requirement is year on year. So what is the first one? This one will return my current year sales, right? This is going to return my current year sales. So the first one is fine. And then it should be subtract. It should be minus. And what is the second requirement? It is previous year sales. How can I get the previous year sales? Using prev member, I can get the previous year sales, right? Let's see whether this one works or not. If I execute this minus this, first for the year 2001, there is no previous year, and hence you are getting the same value. And for 2002, you have previous year. This minus this will come to 173 some blah blah blah, and this minus this will give you the value 131722 and so on. This minus this will give you 51692 something blah 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 .89. So this is how you can calculate the current year sales minus previous year sales. Is it clear? So see how I have analyzed. This is the requirement. I have taken the current year. This is the first part I have to do to calculate Y-o-Y, year on year. And the next part what I have to calculate is year on year, that is current year sales minus previous year sales. So this is how you can get it. Now, let's see what will happen if I pass some month here. Let's say I'm passing the value March, or not March, I'm passing all the months. I'm not giving year, I'm passing months. You can see this will calculate properly. Okay, why? Because this July it is quarterly percentage. Okay, July August is 1, or September. I don't know how the parent is given. So let me keep this year percentage aside for some time. I don't want you to get confused. So now let's see. I'm passing the months here. Okay. Now how to calculate year on year sales? How can I get the year on year? So year on year means what their requirement will be like this. Up to July, what is the sales? Last year up to July, what is the sales? You can calculate such kind of formula. Up to August, what is the sales? And up to August what is the sales in the last year, this minus this. So you can calculate such you can go for such kind of calculations. But always remember, whenever they are talking about year on year, they have to pass year. Whenever they are passing month on month, it will be they will be passing English month name or months as the row item. And whenever they are talking about quarter on quarter, they will provide quarters in the row items. So now they are providing month on month, month name. So we can call it as month on month. So this is the output of this year. This will not be the output of month on month. What's the problem? Can you go for a guess? What's the problem here? What is the problem here? Why it is not month on month? So I'm just taking previous month. This minus this I'm taking. I'm not taking this August minus last year same August, right? This is not month on month. How can I get month on month here? How can I get month on month? Can you go for a guess? Can you try? Okay, try it offline, not here. So to calculate month on month, what you have to do is, okay, the numerator, the first part is, this is fine. But the problem is with the second part. This guy is going to take previous month instead of last year same month. But our requirement is last year same month. So what we have to do? This current member should be there. Okay. What is the best function that I can use here? To go back to 12 months. I can use dot lag of 12 is one option. This one will take me to the 12th member from current member. That is lag of 12 is one of the functions that I can go for. This guy will return the value that you are expecting, that is month on month. Let me show you the same. This is July. Where is this year July? This is July. I'm copying it. I'm going for calculator. This minus where is the other July? This guy is equal to, it is 17435489. So 17435489. So lag function will work fine. So lag of 12 is gonna do the job for you. And there is one more function which we can use, that is parallel period. Parallel period, what you have to do? You have to provide the calendar year hierarchy as the first parameter. The second parameter should be 1 and third parameter should be the member. So this member, it will go back by 1 year. Let me execute the same and let me show you the value for the same July. Where is the July? Oops, it is getting different value, not this July. 1 second. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. This July, Control C, Control V minus, Control C, Control V, 1743, but it is not returning the value that is expected. Let me see what the problem is. Parallel period dot calendar hierarchy dot calendar year. I want the current member to go back by 1 year. So this is exactly fine, and this is current member. So everything looks fine for me. Let's see what the problem is. How to debug it? Let's see how to debug the issue. Actually, the values are not matching. Okay, this value minus the current month value, it is not returning. It is simply returning the same value. If you observe, the same value that is there, it is returning here. Right? Let me see the problem. Guys, if you see, it is working perfectly. For example, from this Jan, if you see the values are coming correctly. Okay, but there is some problem for the previous values where we don't have data for Jan. So for 2001, we don't have January data, February data, and so on. There we are facing some problem, and even I don't understand what the problem is. That the query, whatever I have written, is correct, but I think it's some problem in the hierarchy we define. Either I have two doubts. One is either the hierarchy that I define or the version of SQL Server that I installed. There may be some error in this one. or else it works fine. It is working fine for all other functions. I don't know why it is returning the same value. If you can find out, just let me know. Let's jump into the next concept, and surely I will get you back. I mean, I'll come back with this error. The problem here is I can't see. I don't see any error here. You can see the parallel period of due date dot calendar hierarchy dot calendar year. Fine. I want it to go back by 1 year from the current member. This is also exactly fine, and it is working fine for a couple of members, and it is not working for remaining members. There I am getting confused. Why it is not working for few members and why it is working for the remaining. So let me analyze this and come back what the problem is. So, but try to understand the concept, how to write the calculated measures, how to write the calculations. First try to split up, understand, analyze it clearly, thoroughly, and split the query and start from one point and reach the other end. So this is how you can write the calculations, and in the same way you can write so many complex calculations. Year on year and month on month is same, just like I've written now. And what if people has given a formula like this year sales minus last year sales divided by last year sales? It will remain the same. This year sales, this is this year sales minus let's say this year month, this month sales minus last year same month sales divided by, you have to add one more thing, that is last. If they ask you to divide it by previous year sales, copy the same and give it here. So this is how the formulas will be simple. The only part is you have to split and analyze and split and then apply, and don't blindly start writing without analyzing the requirement. So this is about writing calculations in MDX. Now let's jump into the another concept, subcubes, the last concept in MDX. So subcubes is nothing, is just like subqueries. What is subcube? Subcube will hold some piece of data or slice of cube information. Now this is pretty huge cube. You can see there are not pretty huge. This is a comparatively bigger one than what we are going to write now. So what is a subcube now? Let's see how to create subcubes. Let's say I'm writing a function. I'm writing a query. Let's say select. I'm selecting calendar year. Okay. On columns from cube name. So what this guy is gonna return? This guy will return 2001, 2, 3, and 4 sales. Now, what if I specify instead of adventure works, okay, select some columns on some rows from, if I write another select statement like select, if I take 2001 on columns from cube name. So the inner one in the brackets, in the parenthesis, is a query which returns the data. So it's a slice of a data, slice of the cube, right? If I execute this, if I execute one more select statement on top of that, then the internal one is the one which filters first. This guy filters only 2001 data, and the outer query will try to filter from the inner output, from the output that is given by the inner query. So the inner one, this is called a subcube part or subquery part. So this guy will slice first. This guy will not have full information. This guy will have very little information. So from that little information, you are gonna get this, and this concept is called as subselect. I can say I'm subselecting. I'm using two select statements. First I'm selecting here, and then I'm using again. Before executing the main query, I'm filtering using the subselect query. So the subcube concept is, it's permanently creating a slice of the cube. For example, let's say my requirement is to see the data of only year 2001. Okay, my requirement is only year 2001 sales. Okay, now and let's see how to create a subcube. Create subcube, and give the subcube name. You can give any name here. I'm giving this as, you have to write a valid select statement. I'm going to write a simple select statement, whatever I have taken here, on columns, comma, sales amount on rows. So I created a subcube. You can see it is executing and execution complete. The subcube name is AdventureWorks DW, and the output or the slice of the subcube will contain the due date, the 2001 year sales amount. Now let's see what will happen if I execute the query. Whatever I'm gonna write, select English, calendar year on columns from, I'm taking the name of this. So what this guy is gonna return? This guy is not gonna work on the complete cube. This guy is gonna work on only the cube that you have executed. What will happen if you give tax amount, which is not part of the subcube? Okay, this is not, tax amount is not part of the subcube, and if you provide this tax amount in the query, then it will return nothing. Why? Because you are executing the query on the subcube now. Now the subcube is the one which is available for you. It is not the entire cube that is available for you. Whatever columns you specified in the subcube, only those will be available here. So what is the advantage of having this? If you know that you are going to work on only little bit of data, you can add everything into the subcube and then make use of the subcube in your main queries. So how to drop the subcube now? Drop subcube and provide the name. You can see the subcube will be dropped. Now again, I'm creating a subcube. I am trying to create a subcube with the name of AdventureWorks, and you can see the error message. The subcube name is different from the cube name. So this should be always equal to the cube name, that is AdventureWorks DW. And if you want to make use of tax amount in this one, then drag and drop the tax amount here as part of your subcube. And you can see after creating this subcube, if you execute this select statement, you can see 2001 tax amount information. So subcube is a slice of your main cube. Once you create a subcube, then it will be available and the main cube will not be available. Okay. If you don't want to give full access to anybody who is working on this, or if you are working on your own, if you're fixing some issue, or if you're practicing something, create a subcube and work on the subcube rather than having full cube in your plate, which may create some performance issues while practicing the MDX or while fixing some issue. So create subcubes and you can work on the same subcubes. And it's simple to drop and create the subcubes. That's why it is giving more flexible to the MDX developers to work on it. Now I'm deleting the subcube. This is the concept subcubes. What most of the cases people don't go for subcubes. People frequently go for subselects. The one which I have shown. Yeah, this one. Subselects people prefer. Let's say people want to show only the months that belongs to 2001 year. If I select English month name, then what it is going to do is it is going to return only 6 months which are present for the year 2001. Why? Because I'm filtering it. I'm filtering in the subselect part. So instead of where condition, people preferably go for subselect. The advantage of subselect is, I'll show you one advantage. Let's say this is my query. Select tax amount on 0. Sorry, sales amount on 0, comma, I want to show calendar year on 1 from cube name, where, let's say I want to filter 2001. I cannot do that here. Why? Because the calendar hierarchy is already used in rows. If I drag and drop this here and if I execute this one will say, man, you already use this hierarchy in your rows axis. So the best alternate is go for subcubes. sorry, subselects, I'm sorry, from select this guy, whatever thing that you want to filter on 0 from the cube name. Now you can see it will accept and it will be filtered. So this is how you can make use of subselect whenever you want to filter rather than going for where conditions, which will lead to some constraints, some problems like having same axis on same hierarchy on different axes will lead to an error in MDX. So in those cases, to avoid that, you can go for subselects. This is about MDX, and we discussed about lot of functions, lot of calculations, and we also have seen lot of complex calculated measures. Not lot, at least few. I calculations we have seen till now, and come back fresh with complete knowledge on SSAs and MDX so that we